Amnesia here. I am going to do that second video that we talked about where we walk through our Carthage world and the 1.3/1.1 threads and how to use them. So in this example, I'm going to pretend like I'm leveling my Alcatraz up from level 5 to level 6 and walk through what I would post. Now, unfortunately, we don't have 1.9 threads. I've come over here back to the faux tools, picked Alcatraz on the pull down menu, typed in level 6, and over here there was the 90% button. I'm just going to come over here and set it to, first off, you can see the power of the Alcatraz. With a 90% boost, it's 277 cost from the owner to level it. However, with, let's just say, a 0% boost, it's 355. That assumes that all the reward spots are sold for 1 times the reward. It'd be 355. At 10%, goes down to 345, so it saves some. At 30%, every spot goes down to 328. So, the higher the boost, the less the owner has to pay. So in this case, we're actually going to use kind of a mix. So I'll set it at 10 as the default. But in our guild, we have some level 30 arcs, or level 10 arcs that have a 30 bonus. So I'm going to include 30 in the first 2 spots and walk through how would I prime this and post it. So in this case, you can see what's interesting about this is that the first 2 spots have 322 as what you need to prime it for. The second 2 spots at 10% bonus have 326. And so what I would do is basically add up build up 322 FP onto the Traz. And so let's just say I'd go 322, drop it in, I don't have it. But let's say I've put in 322. What I do is I will add 322. We're going to pretend like I have it. I come over here. I come down below. These boxes are selected. I hit the copy button right there. I'm going to come over to our 1.3 thread. So the 1.3 thread is right here. I'm going to go like this and do Amnesia Traz, for 2 for 33, 1 for 59. Now, if someone wants to call that, let's pretend they want to call it, they would basically copy and paste that, or say number 1, and then put the FP in, and then I'm going to delete that, and then they would add back or copy back what what's remaining on it. So they'd put in that Amnesia Trash 2 after they've called it, placed the FP. So now let's say I've then gotten both of those spots. I come back over here and I say that they're in there. So I just hit the plus button. They're right here, 33. So now over on the left it says I basically need to add 4 more FP. So I'd go back to my Traz, add 4 into it, drop it in. And then I'd have, in this scenario, imaginary scenario, 326. Let's say I want to put the next 2 spots into the 1.1 thread. So I'd copy those spots over. And then I'd come over here to the 1.1. And then I'd copy and paste those into there. And then people could call those as normal. And remember, you call it by either saying number 3 or by copying, pasting, and putting that back into it. And then you call it, you add the FP, and then you basically edit it back to show what's left, or you say clear when it's done. So if people have gotten 3 and 4, they would say clear, hit that, and they're ready to go. So that's how you use the 1.3, 1.1 thread. This faux tools website is going to be your friend. Again, using these arcs in your guild is the fastest way, the minimum way possible to do it. It is faster than swap threads. My feeling is that the swap threads give you the illusion that you're doing something, but they don't really, really move you forward. Oftentimes what will happen is that people who just generate more FP through no fault of their own get more spots than the ones with the larger level buildings, and people with smaller buildings end up placing 5 or 10, FP on a lot of these big buildings. They never get anything back, and so they're basically self-leveling their own buildings. And the threads just don't work as one would hope, where they're sort of equal FP in, equal rewards out. It just doesn't happen. And there's also, the nice thing about Forge is that people have done math on things like this. And there's one thing over here that I looked at that kind of gives you a comparison. So let's just say you wanted to level your arc, or let's just say your Zeus. It's a building we all have. if you wanted to level your Zeus from 0 to 10, and let's say the bonus that we had, let's just say it's 30, and let's say you make, I'm going to throw a number out there, make 40 FP a day. You can look down here, it says, if you're using these threads, it says you'll get there in 1 month and 17 days. If you use these swap threads, 2 months, 3 days. So all I have to do is trust that somebody who knows math a lot better than I do has looked through this and has proven this before. And you can see when you start doing like level Arc 90 bonuses, things go a lot quicker. The time is basically halved when you have these higher bonuses for getting from a 0 to 10 on a Zeus or anything like that. So the boost does help you. It can feel very painful because you're just basically putting things on your building. It doesn't feel like you're getting anything back. But a lot of times the experience of the newer player is that they never get anything back anyway on these buildings. And it's just, sort of the people that just produce FP faster or get it out of GBG and put it into the swap threads can just gobble up a lot of the FP out of those. And it works for their benefit, and that's no fault of their own, but that's just how they're kind of naturally structured. So anyway, that's why I recommend using these 1.3, 1.1 threads and getting to know how to use them. They seem daunting, but if you get this faux tools under your belt and just sort of keep at it, you'll get where you want to go. Talk to you soon. Bye.